Hi-ho! New maze event, and with it comes many cannonballs, some insignias, treasure trunks, and also other event items. So today we will go through this new fly high maze. As you can see, I've actually already spent some of my currency. There was no real good reason for that. I just wanted to spend it as soon as I had it. And I'm just going to say it outright that this time the best path for you to go on is going to be the keys path. So for instance, for me, that is me continuing on from the honey collector dragon, because you see on the yellow path, we keep going, we get the 10 insignias, there's a black key. And the other reason why I would highly suggest for you to go on the keys path is because on the black path, so after you pick up the key, you will see that you can get the final treasure trunk. So there is a treasure trunk available on, I think it's what, lap 18, lap 19 of the race, and there is this one here as well. And in order to finish off the final collection, you have to get every single treasure trunk. I guess worst case scenario, you'd be one away and hope that they sell it for quite cheap gems wise, and by quite cheap I mean many hundreds, but that is the reason why I would highly suggest that you go down the keys path this time around. So, in the DC event guide section on my Discord server, I have posted all of the information about this event, total costs, how much you can get from resets, from quests, and also the fact that we can get ×2 cannonballs in some of the maze quests as well. So sometimes you will be greeted with a ×2, and I highly suggest doing that. But just to put it in perspective, there is a 2-day unlock legend and a 3-day unlock legend, and these dragons will be different for you than they are for me in most likelihood, unless it's just completely random and you happen to get the same one dropped once. But these two dragons should be different for everyone. The 2-day unlock legend, for instance, is Holy Night for me, and according to this, 2-day unlock legend is 8,165 currency. And then the other one that we've got is the 3-day unlock legend, and that means 3 days from the time that the event started, which for me is Wastelander. And on the Wastelander path, it is 6,720. There is 1 Cannonball and 1 Colosssyche ornament. The reason why I would suggest ignoring those two paths realistically, unless you can pick up a cheap Cannonball from early on, is because on the keys path, the treasure trunk is right near the end of the keys path, and the keys path is like 10,800 currency. So you're going to have to hit every single reset, get every single piece of currency that you can to even have a good chance of finishing this. But inside the keys path, there are 8 cannonballs, 12 Colosssyche ornaments, a treasure trunk, and 15 quantum insignias, which is significantly more than you're going to get from the other two paths. Again, the only time that I would suggest, you know, stepping foot on these paths is if you can pick up a cheap cannonball pretty early on, and that is the only time really usually that you would go on these paths, but the cannonballs tend to be quite far in this time around. So instead, I'm just going to continue making my way through on the regular keys path on our way to the black path, and then I'm going to pick up that treasure trunk if we happen to afford it at the end. Because again, since it's 10,800 and you're going to get like, what is it, 8,000 from resets, 500 from quests, starting currency, and then ads, there is no guarantee that you're even going to get the actual treasure trunk. So that is why I'm just going to go on the path anyway, because I'm going to pick up the extra items, but we definitely want to try and pick this up. But it seems they're definitely trying to challenge us this time around. So as I mentioned, we've got resets, but the resets for some reason are back to 1-day resets. Don't ask me why, they just keep chopping and changing it at the moment. So it is 1-day resets, log in once, get 2,000 currency. We also have the Cannonball quest, which you definitely want to be doing because we have cannonballs and currency available in them, and chances are you are going to need one or both of them if you want to finish off the final collection. And then of course we've got the ads as well, which does also just give you event currency, but there is no cannonball in today's number 29, which there has been in like every other day for me. But if you want to know roughly where I'm currently at with the High Flyers event, not saying I'm doing the bestest out of everyone because my luck's been okay, but it's not been crazy. I'm currently at 33 out of 48 cannonballs, so we would definitely be looking to get some ×3s. I have gotten a lot of ×1 drops, I'll be honest, quite a few of them from Fog event. I did get a few ×3s, like 2 of them I think, and then the rest have been like ×2s or something like that. So this isn't insane luck. And are we actually going to reach it? Well, only time will tell. And I don't know how many more we're going to get in ads, if any. So at this point in time, I'm just trying to grind it out as much as I can. Remaining hopeful, but not remaining expectant. So there is that. But that is pretty much everything you'll need to know about this event. Aside from that, just make sure you're logging in. And, you know, maybe you'll pick up some nice extra gems from the Gemtopia chest on your way through. But just go down the keys path and you'll be fine. So that is nice and simple. And if you want to know where I am at the race, I'm at level 14 right now, which is obviously behind where I would like to be by a little bit. Because, you know, like I mentioned, if we do want to get every single item, we're going to have to get that treasure trunk on lap 19. I don't know why they're doing this now. They are making this final event item, like, incredibly annoying to get. Like, what is worth more, one treasure trunk or 500 orbs of a heroic? Apparently the treasure trunk itself. So, yeah, it's becoming very much quite annoying at this point. Trying to get these items. Will I even get that one? Only if I spend gems. I mean, I do have a lot of gems to spend. If I spent my gems, yes, I could make it. Question is, how many gems am I willing to spend? And also, I don't know exactly how active I'm going to be able to be. So, that means that I don't know how many gems I'm going to have to spend. So, if you're in a situation like me, where you're like very busy, say your normal schedule isn't a thing at the moment, then, you know, just see where you get up to, see how much you can grind and how well you do, and then make your choice based on that as to how many gems you're going to spend. It's just, usually I have a set schedule going on at the time of heroic races, and normally I know exactly what to expect. I know how many laps I can get, unless it's like, you know, a weird heroic race. But we've had this sort of format for heroic race, or very similar, a few times now. And so, you know, getting to lap 18, I've been doing it consistently for most races, but this time around, not sure if I'm going to do that. So, we shall see. I have plenty of other heroics to help me out, but I do definitely still recommend that you pick up the heroic and as many orbs as you possibly can, if you can. Obviously, it depends on how busy you are with your home life or anything else going on, but the general advice from me would be to try and get them if you have the capability to do so. But life comes first. Maybe you're just very busy, maybe you've got exams, maybe you've got other stuff going on, whatever the heck it may be. Of course, that's more important than a random ass dragon game, but if you can do it, you got the spare time for it, or it just works with your schedule, just do it. So many times, and every single time there is a new heroic, people always say, oh my god, that heroic sucks. And then it turns out, no, the heroic does not suck, because there will be like an arena not long after release where the dragon can be used, and it's like, wow, wouldn't that dragon have been wonderful in this arena for you? The answer is yes, usually. And by wonderful, I don't mean like crazy good, but just having another option, and especially if you take part in the quest, you've got the food to level them up. That could just be an E4, E5 dragon for free that you just did not get because someone told you in like, I don't know, a Facebook group that it was bad. Trust me, that high flying is not a bad dragon. Yeah, it kind of sucks when he goes against heroic VIPs, but you can still use him in, you know, various arenas. So I definitely still recommend picking him up and having him there as an option in case you ever need him. So yeah, that is my general advice. People are always going to complain about dragons, even if they're absolutely fine. So I just typically don't really listen to people that much when they say, oh, this dragon sucks, like that's a bad dragon. Or sometimes they'll do the opposite and be like, oh my god, this new dragon is like insane. And it's like, no, it's not insane. It's just like very whatever. So I don't think you can give a good judgment on exactly how good a dragon is at least quite a few weeks into release. And I feel like some people just want to like jump the gun on certain dragons for some reason. I don't know why, they just do. But I have so many dragons to summon. Do you see all of these dragons with like just over 100 orbs? Do you see them all? Do you see Valguard? Do you see Pulse Guard? Oh my days, there are so many. Next summon happy hour is going to be a wild one, is all I'm saying. But I definitely should get some of these, at least these new dragons summoned, hatched. Because who doesn't like new dragons? I know I like new dragons. I hope that there isn't a summon happy hour very soon. Otherwise, I'm going to have to gem this. Probably will. Probably will, now that I've said that. But anyway, for now, that is mostly the most important thing going on right now is going to be Heroic Race and the maze that's currently going on. So I hope that you have a nice leaderboard or you're making it to a good lap for what you wanted. Aside from that, we have a very, very mediocre Wizard's Hollow with Usurper in it. Yes, he is a mythical now instead of legend, so you might want to pick him up, but Usurper is arguably one of the not as great vampires compared to the others. Mainly just because his skill is kind of whatever. It would be very situational to ever get usage out of it. So if you don't know what his skill is, it is under the bus throw. And it is literally just he attacks and then swaps with an ally. And that is it. It is not fantastic. So it's whatever, to be honest. And the Wizard's Hollow in general, we will do it just because, you know, free leaderboard event points, which I am first currently. That may not stay like that. But yeah, I'll do it, but I'm not gonna gem or anything because it's just not worth it. But anyway, for now, I think that is where I'm going to leave you. I've got some dragons waiting to hatch. I do try and save them for the heroic quests, but, you know, in this instance, we're not going to have long before we have to wait for the collecting gold. And then after this, we are going to have collecting food, battling dragons for a long while. So I'm going to use the skip on the battle dragons section. And then we have the lovely, lovely 14 breed dragons nodes. Wow, it's always lovely seeing that, isn't it? 14 of them. So I'm going to keep grinding, see where we get to, see what happens. But for now, best of luck with all of your cannonball drops and everything else. And I suppose until next time, have fun.